How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Riley here. And today, you guys, yet again, I am bringing you all another brand new NBA video right here on my channel. Now, today, you guys, we are coming at you with another brand new tier maker video. The first one I did on my channel got a ton of positive feedback, and it seemed like you guys ultimately really enjoyed it, so I'm coming at you guys with another one today. And you guys, we are going to be going through and ranking the top 50 players in the NBA into 5 separate tiers. Now, before we even jump into this, you guys, I know this is going to be challenging, and I know a lot of people are probably going to be upset about it in the comments, but don't get me wrong, this is going to be very difficult for me to separate each and every of the top 50 players into a separate tier. Like, I already know people are going to be upset and complaining in the comments, but I want you guys to do that ultimately, so please leave me your feedback down below in the comments of what you think I did wrong or what you would have done different from what I'm about to do. So, you guys, I'm really excited to hop into this tier maker. I feel like it is going to be one of the better ones that we could ever do. And if you guys have any ideas of any other tiers that you want to see in the future, leave your feedback about that in the comments as well. I want to hear what you guys want to see on the channel. But you guys, before we hop into the video, I just want to say that if you guys are brand new viewers to my channel, or you guys are coming from another previous video and you have not done this yet for any reason whatsoever, please, you guys, I'm highly encouraging each and every one of you to stop this video, like pause me right now, and make sure to go down below and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Trust me, you guys are not going to regret doing this. I absolutely promise you that. It's free, it's easy, it gets you guys my content that much faster than just checking my channel every now and then, and make sure to hit that push notification bell. That way you guys get updates and notifications instantly when I post a brand new video here on my channel. Positive, you guys will not regret doing this, and if you do, I really do appreciate it, believe me on that. But if you don't, that's fine, and without further ado, let's jump into this NBA tier maker of the top 50 players in the NBA. Alright, like I already said, you guys, this is going to be really difficult, I can already tell, but we're going to start off by putting some players in the top tier out of all of them. I feel like it's going to be relatively easy for me to point out my top 10 in the very beginning, because since there are 50 players and there are 5 different tiers, there is going to be a list of 10 players in each tier for this video. Basic math, yeah, I know, but I just wanted to clarify that right now if you guys are going to complain and tell me why one player shouldn't be in the next one. I also should mention that the order of where they are listed in the specific tier does not mean anything. Like, my top 10 players, it's not going to be a list 1 through 10. I'm just putting my top 10 who I think in the first tier. That's how it's going to work with everyone. But without further ado, I'm going to find the first 3 players I'm going to put into tier 1, and I'm going to explain to you guys why I put them there, and we will continue with that process through the entire video. Alright, you guys, the first 3 I have chose out are Anthony Davis, James Harden, and LeBron James, who I feel are obvious no-brainers to be in the top 10. All putting up ridiculous numbers recently, and yeah, there's not much more to explain about them. They deserve to be in the top 10 without a doubt in my mind. If you think differently, you're honestly crazy in my opinion. But continuing forward, we have added Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and Giannis now, which again are 3 people that I really shouldn't have to explain of why they should be in the top 10. I feel like for most of these guys in the top 10, they are going to be mutually agreed with upon all of you guys watching. I mean, unless you guys have any difference that you think should be in the top 10, again, let me know in the comments. I want to hear what you guys have to say. And you guys, we have rounded out my top 10 with Kawhi Leonard, Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving, and Paul George. Now, I know you guys, the final 4 players are probably going to cause some controversy. I mean, the final 3 at least with Dame, Kyrie, and Paul George. Don't get me wrong, you guys, this is all based on personal opinion. In my opinion, these 3 are the final ones that are going to round out my top 10. Mentioning Kawhi, there's not really much to argue with him. I mean, he's granted to be in the top 10. I feel like most of you guys will agree with me on that. But again, if you don't, hey, let me know. But yeah, you guys, that rounds out my top 10 with Dame, Kyrie, and Paul George. And we're going to move on to my tier 2, and you guys can see who I'm going to put in that one. Alright, you guys, the first 3 that I have put into the second tier for this video on the top 50 NBA players is Joel Embiid, Russell Westbrook, and Jimmy Butler. Now, I know you guys, there's going to be some controversy on whether these 3 should be in the top 10, switched out with a couple people in the top 10 tier. Like, don't get me wrong, you guys, you are all entitled to your own opinion, and if you think any differently from what I am putting, I would love to hear about it. But this is just personal opinion, you guys. In my opinion, I would pick anyone in tier 1 over tier 2. Alright, you guys, I have moved on, and I've added my next 3 to tier 2, which are John Wall, Blake Griffin, and Klay Thompson. Now, with these 3, you guys, I feel like personally, John Wall, when healthy, he is definitely a tier 2 player. Some people might not agree with me on that, but I'm sticking with that. I love John Wall. I love how he plays. And on the second one with Blake Griffin, his numbers have increased this year profoundly if you guys have not paid much attention to him, which I would understand because he is on the Detroit Pistons. But don't get me wrong, you guys, if you watched him this year was kind of remarkable for him. I'm not even gonna lie. He has increased his outside shooting profoundly, which has helped him out a ton. And speaking of outside shooting, we have Klay Thompson, the next one here in tier 2, who I also don't have to explain. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's not on the level of Steph as an overall player and the impact he has on the floor, but how he has already wrote a legacy as one of the greatest shooters of all time, I feel like putting him in one of the top 2 tiers was inevitable. Alright, you guys, rounding out my tier 2 now, here we have Karl Anthony Towns, Nikola Jokic, Kemba Walker, and Bradley Beal. Now with these, you guys, the first two with Karl Anthony Towns and Nikola Jokic, I feel like these two, they are very dominant, don't get me wrong, and I love the way they play and I love watching them, but they are not yet to the tier 1 level of the NBA since they are both still young and have a lot to learn and a lot of potential, but they are definitely going to make their way up there eventually, I feel like. But right now, I don't think they're there. But with Kemba Walker, a lot of people are probably going to think watching this video that he is tier 1, and don't get me wrong, I feel like he is sometimes. So I don't know, you guys, but making this video, I feel like with him not being on a contender and not being able to take his team up into the next step as a factor in weighing him down and making him tier 2. Like, don't get me wrong, though, I know that's not all on him, but I don't know, you guys, just making this tier list is so difficult. Don't get me wrong, you guys are going to disagree with me on some of them, but with Bradley Beal being the final one, I feel like he's definitely tier 2. Like, some of you guys might disagree again with who I'm going to be putting lower or higher, and some of you might think that someone in tier 3 will be above Bradley Beal and be in tier 2, but I don't know. This is just my personal opinion. I feel like Bradley Beal is much better than what people give him credit for, but regardless of the fact, that is how we're closing out my tier 2. Starting off tier 3, you guys, we have DeMarcus Cousins, Nikola Vucevic, and Zach LaVine. Now with Boogie Cousins, I know a lot of you are going to freak out and say that he is probably supposed to be a higher tier, but right now with his injury, I personally don't think he is a top 20 player in the NBA. Like, with his injury, it is plaguing him profoundly, both with his injury from last year and his injury this year, which kept him out for most of the playoffs. He has regressed immensely, and until he gets back up there and proves that he's a top 20 player, I'm putting him in tier 3 right now. Along with Vucevic and Zach LaVine, they are both pretty solid players for their respective teams, don't get me wrong, and I feel like putting them in tier 3 is the perfect situation for them and right where they should be. I don't know, again, you guys might think differently, but that's how I'm going with those two. The next three I have put in the tier 3, you guys, are Draymond Green, D'Angelo Russell, and Mike Conley, who in my personal opinion all deserve to be in this tier. I mean, when thinking about it and when actually making this tier list, this seemed like the right fit for all three of them. Draymond Green is definitely a top 30 player. I can say that with a lot of confidence. His defensive part of his game is huge, and he has kind of been the centerpiece for that Warriors team. A lot of people do think that, and I do as well. And along with D'Angelo Russell, the dude has been balling recently. He just got his first All-Star appearance. He's about to probably get some big money this offseason, and he is well deserving of it. And with Mike Conley, he's always been like that middle of the top 50 player, in my opinion. You could say he was top 20 at one time, but I feel like this year he did not do anything to get into that top 20, and I feel like he's going to stay at this position going into next year as well. Alright, you guys, in the final four I have used to round out my tier 3 of the top 30 in the NBA are Chris Paul, Victor Oladipo, CJ McCollum, and Donovan Mitchell. Now, you guys just take a wide look at my top 30 right now and tell me if you agree with that or not. Because in my personal opinion, after looking through it and thinking about it for a very long time, I'm quite confident with this list so far. Like with Chris Paul, he's not top 20 anymore if he ever was, and he is slowly getting older and older, obviously. Like, I'm pretty sure he's 34 right now, and he's making way too much money for what he is earning. I'm pretty sure he's on 37 right now and going to be making like 44 at the end of his contract, which is absolutely absurd. And with Vic, CJ, and Donovan Mitchell, they're all pretty solid players, but I would not give them top 20. I'm just saying that right now in my personal opinion. So I feel like this was the perfect spot to put them right in the middle tier of this list. Alright, you guys, I just want to mention right now, I do not know why there are 3 rookies in this list. Like, I'm not sure if this is actually what the NBA ranked as the top 50 players. Don't slander me. I did not make this list. I just got it from the website. So if Luka Doncic, Trae Young, and DeAndre Ayton are actually in the top 50 of the NBA, but as there are 3 rookies in this list, I'm actually taking Luka Doncic and I'm putting him in the 4th tier, considering he had one of the best rookie seasons we've honestly probably seen since LeBron James. Like, I'm going to say that with confidence, and he is well deserving of not being in the final tier. And on top of that, we have Rudy Gobert and Kyle Lowry, who in my personal opinion get more hate than they deserve. I mean, Rudy Gobert and Kyle Lowry are both pretty solid players when you look at them from time to time. They both don't deserve to be in the final tier, don't get me wrong, but even with being in the final tier, this is the top 50 list. So anyone that gets put in the top 50 and they hate on me tremendously in the comments, please just think about it. They're still in the top 50 of the NBA. Alright, you guys, the next 3 that we are putting into tier 4 are DeMar DeRozan, Tobias Harris, and Ben Simmons, who all, again, in my own opinion, fit right there in the 4th tier perfectly. DeRozan's inability to shoot consistently from outside compared to other people at his position is why he is in tier 4, in my opinion. Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons are both pretty solid players. Some people might make the argument that they should be higher, and I will understand that if you do. But when making this list, this is what I felt most confident with, so I'm sticking with it unless I decide to make any changes at the end after looking at it then. Now, the final 4 rounding out tier 4 is going to be Chris Middleton, De'Aaron Fox, Lou Williams, and Al Horford. Now, again, looking at the final players in this list, I feel like I could not leave these 4 out and put them in the bottom tier. I feel like they are top 40. With Chris Middleton, I feel like he had a huge rise this year as he earned his first All-Star appearance, and he proved that he can be a consistent outside shooter and could probably be the second man for a contender team as he was in the Milwaukee Bucks. Moving on to De'Aaron Fox and Lou Williams, I feel like these guys are both solid guards and they do not deserve to be in the bottom 10 of the top 50. Like, don't get me wrong, you guys, the bottom of this list is going to be difficult to separate. Like, that is going to be a challenge for me, and it already has been. But rounding out my top 40 here and rounding out tier 4, I feel pretty confident. And along with Al Horford being the final one I put in this tier, he is well deserving of being in this tier tier. He might even be higher on some of your guys' lists, but I'm just gonna say the way he is still playing at the age he is and his defensive ability on the court is just, honestly, it's remarkable what he's still doing at this age. I feel like people don't give him enough credit for what he deserves, and he is definitely deserving of making this tier. All right, you guys, obviously with the final 10, I'm not even gonna go through them. I've just put them all into my final tier so you guys can take a look at them and soak it all in. This is my list. This is my tier list of the top 50 players in the NBA right now. Like, with the two rookies leading it off, I feel like besides Luka Doncic, I had to put the rookies in the bottom tier because, I mean, they're rookie. Like, they still have a lot to show and they have a lot of potential going forward, but I would still rather pick an experienced player right now over those two rookies. Along with that, everyone in the bottom tier, you guys, like I said before, I would choose anyone in the 4 top tiers over anyone in the bottom tier. I'm sticking with that statement, and I'm going to continue through that. So if you guys have any differences or any reason to get mad at me for this top 50 tier list, please leave it in the comments down below. I want to hear what you guys have to say because, again, I do this for you guys. I do this to interact with you guys. And when I see you guys flood the comments and flood the like button, it truly means the world, and I cannot thank you guys enough for all the feedback I've been getting. But you guys, after completing my top 50 NBA players tier list, I'm thinking that's going to mark the end of the video here today. Once again, I'm really hoping you all did enjoy this video, and if you did in any way, shape, or form, please, you guys, I'm highly encouraging each and every one of you to go down below and slap a like on it if you did enjoy. Because like I just said previously, you guys know how much the support means to me. We're growing like crazy here on the channel, and it honestly just blows my mind how consistent you guys are and how much support you are showing. I love you guys. I truly cannot thank you enough, and I'm going to say it at the end of every single video because you guys deserve it. But once again, if you are new and you're coming to my channel for the very first time, make sure to go down below and subscribe. We're coming out with brand new NBA videos every single week and a ton of stuff planned for the future, you guys. You don't want to miss out. I promise you that. If you stick around, I'm glad you're here. But after that final comment, I think that's all I have to say for this video. So once again, I thank you guys so much for watching. I love each and every one of you guys. Never forget that. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace!